Hello and welcome to Talk About Games. Just finished Huddersfield Town 1, West Ham United 4. Well, it was a game of two halves, a West Ham of two halves, certainly. Gonzo, the first 24 minutes until we made it 1-0, what were you making of the performance?
I thought that Lanzini seemed to be trying to make something happen in those early exchanges. There wasn't a lot going on for West Ham, to be honest with you. It seemed a little bit lackluster. I was not overly happy with what was happening, and it seemed to me like Lanzini was auditioning for Liverpool. He did seem to have a lot of drive, and he made one run in particular, if you remember, which he tried to then play through to Arnautovic, who was in the box, who sort of then backheeled it, didn't he? And sort of Masuaku's dribble didn't quite come off, but I didn't see a lot, and I thought Ogbonna was playing well, but they had far more possession, Huddersfield, than I would have liked them to have, and particularly seeing as we thrashed them at our place.
24 minutes in, Charlie. They got a certain way of playing. It caught up on them here. They're also well known for pressing. Well, we did the pressing on this one. Arnautovic did the pressing. Noble picked up on the loose ball and made it 1-0. What did you make of that? Fantastic finish. Underrated strike, would you say, that kind of goal?
Yeah, that was super composed. You can see why he takes penalties, because anyone else in that position might have lashed at it, might have been worried, might have fluffed it, but he just picked his spot and placed it perfectly. It was before that they were really pushing us and pressing us very hard. It was like, but they were making their presence known, and it gave us really no out balls, and we were really struggling. And then out of nowhere, we seemed to do it once and to their defenders, and we got in it. So it was a great goal. It was a great goal.
Well, I thought after a scrappy 24 minutes of scoring, I thought we started playing some decent football. Actually, I thought they were a little bit sort of got a kick with our goal. They were on top. We scored. It took the wind out of them a little bit. But then Gonzo, they had a little moment themselves. Lawley got the equaliser, but a damn good goal too.
It was a very good goal, but whereas you were obviously right that we scored our goal because we pressed, that was quite the opposite, actually. We sat off a little bit. Masuaku was a little bit hesitant, which made the 2-on-1. Then the guy cut in, and Noble was coming back at 1,000 miles an hour, which made it easy for the guy to sidestep Noble. But he did finish very, very well. It was a lovely curled goal.
Was it a deserved goal, Gonzo?
Yeah, they weren't the worst team on the pitch. So yeah, certainly, I thought they were playing really very, very well, and we at that point had set up in our normal defensive fashion. So it was at that point when they scored, it was looking like a long day.
We went in at half-time, 1-1, Charlie. Just 11 seconds later, however, we've been doing this tactic under Moyes since he's come. Take a centre, kick it back, run up, boot it. It worked.
I know. It actually worked. I've never seen it work before. What a time to be alive. And it wasn't only that. It was Cheikhou Kouyaté who kind of semi-won the ball in the air. I mean, he didn't really hit off his back, but give him the credit for trying. It was mad. And Arnautovic does absolutely brilliantly with it. He really does. You could argue maybe it was a high foot, but to get the ball away from the defender and then hit it with such power and precision into that bottom corner, that's a really, really good finish, and something only a man who both has his ability and is in the form he's in could do. It's a great goal.
On 51 minutes, Aaron Moy had to be alert for Huddersfield as he cleared an Ogbonna header, which took a slight deflection of Kouyaté off the line. Then 55 minutes, Gonzo. When you see the team line up, you think, well, this is going to be defensive football. We scored a goal, which is long ball. This goal, well, this is champagne football. This pass, and Lanzini whack. Lovely finish. 2-1, 3-1 West Ham.
Yeah, indeed. And you say the much maligned Kouyaté, that actually, we look like Man City pinging it around these little triangles. He actually touched the ball 3 times in that exchange. They're actually chasing shadows at that point. And Arnautovic gets on the ball. He actually feints right, drops his shoulder, goes left, and they're with him. And there's actually, if you look at that point, there's 4 guys around Arnautovic at that point. Lanzini just stays on side, and Arnautovic plays him through beautifully. Lanzini finishes really, really well. It is an excellent goal. I don't know if he scored a better goal this season. You tell me, maybe. But that was a very, very good footballing goal.
Charlie, just a curveball question. Which goal do you prefer, that one or Obiang's against Spurs?
Probably Obiang's against Spurs just because of the context. But if it was I think if that Obiang goal came against, say, Watford, or if it was the other way around, if the Obiang goal came against Huddersfield and that came against Spurs, I'd probably prefer that one. I think it's just the context which makes me prefer the Obiang goal.
Well, Arnautovic got his goal at the start of the second half. He made Lanzini's one. Then he decided to make another one for Lanzini. Charlie, I mean, Arnautovic sort of turned into prime Ronaldo here. He just completely... how he managed to get rid of that defender, I don't know. It looked like it was a 50-50. Then all of a sudden, the guy was halfway across the pitch and Arnautovic is away and goes in the box, uses his power, uses his strength, drags down the defenders. And, well, Lanzini makes no mistake, does he?
Yeah, he seemed to be just on another level today, Arnautovic. He played so well and had such an important presence. And what was really impressive for me was the connection that him and Lanzini seemed to start to build. They were playing off each other and playing really well. And when you have two people who are smart like that, they're both very intelligent players with the way they move and stuff like that. When you get them both on form together, they form these little partnerships and they were playing well and moving off each other. And even like Arnautovic, maybe like, I don't know whether he passed or lost it, to be honest with you, but Lanzini was in the right place at the right time. And when you have two people like that, it all came together. And that was another really, really good goal.
Gonzo, were you surprised at what you were seeing? I mean, at halftime, we're thinking, well, this isn't great, is it? We're not careful, we could end up losing to Huddersfield. But 15 minutes later, it's 4-1. Lanzini's turned into Messi, and Arnautovic has turned into Ronaldo.
Yeah, not a bad pairing, is it? So up front, really. I think I would be lying if I said I wasn't surprised. Of course I was surprised. We were all surprised. There's been no evidence, no inkling that we were going to do that. And anybody I've not heard a single person on a video, a podcast, on our website, on anyone else's website who's turned around and said, actually, these tactics under Moyes are getting better and better, and we're going to start putting 4 and 5 goals past players' teams soon. That was never on the card. So it was a total surprise. I think there was a massive rocket up the arse at half time. I do think that for us to come out in the way we did, not just the 11-second goal, but the nature of the way we played in that second half suggests that a lot of people had a rollicking. I think you look at the way Kiate, for instance, played in that second half. I think there's a man who's been shouted at half time. And with regard to Arnautovic and Lanzini, the way they combined, as Charlie alluded to, I thought all game actually Lanzini got a lot closer to Arnautovic. I think if you do one or two things with Lanzini, you either put him in central midfield to get the passing going, or you get him close up next to the striker, if you want to call Arnautovic a striker. Perhaps we didn't play with a striker today, who knows? If we didn't, who needs strikers? But it was very surprising, very entertaining, and well, it's made everyone's weekend.
Well, it was game over at that point because the only other time there was a sort of half chances in the 73rd minute when Huddersfield had a free kick, which took a deflection, but Adrian still had to make a good save because it changed direction, and Zavaleta made a really good clearance off the back of that. But finished 4-1. Charlie, is this is quite like a bit similar to the West Brom game, but not quite. It's a bit more extravagant than that. Is it genius Moyes? Or what's going on here? Because as Gonzo was saying, I mean, social media was rife when the team news came out. Everybody saying, what's he doing? What's he doing? Why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? But, well, and still at half-time, people were still understandably a bit, not hacked off, but a bit, it's not really into. But that second half is as good a half as we'll see from West Ham for a long time.
I think similar to what happened with the Stoke game in that they sort of played into our hands. Huddersfield went for it, and us getting that early goal in the second half really helped because it meant that they had to go for it, they had to push for it, and it did leave them slightly exposed at the back. They still, though, we only had 2 people really, we only really had 2 attacking players on the football pitch, and so they constantly did have more numbers back than we had going forward. It wasn't like this marauding Liverpool-esque attack, but the 2 players up front I think deserve so much credit because they both linked up perfectly, they both played perfectly well, and so when those balls were coming forward and it was 3 defenders against the 2 of them, at times they just had that touch to take it past the player, that pass to take it past the player, which leveled it up and meant that we just were better than them. It's unfortunate for them because, like I said, I think that early goal was pivotal, but it's a fantastic performance. I don't know how much of that is down to Moyes, but it certainly is a fantastic performance and he has to take at least some of the praise.
One thing that has changed since Moyes has come and gone, so I know we've spoke about it, we're going to speak about it again, is Arnautovic. He's a little bit special these days, isn't he?
Well, he deserves to be spoken about. And what are these shows for if we can't indulge ourselves a little bit? For too many years, our record signings have turned out to be underwhelming. be it Matt Jarvis, Andy Carroll. We can't say we had value for money out of Andy Carroll, and even Andre Ayew. And I think when Arnautovic came in and we looked at him and he got sent off for the elbow and whatnot, you thought, well, hold on a second, it's Groundhog Day here. But he does look every inch a £25 million player, and I think that is his 7th goal or something. There was some stat in the last 7 games he's contributed towards 7 goals or something. You tell me the stats. You're the stats man. And I'll tell you what, you start doing a return like that, and particularly the way he linked with Lanzini, he was actually involved in every goal, wasn't he? So when you start playing like that, you're worth a bit more than 25 million. He's quicker than I thought he was as well. And on that goal, which was the 4th goal, and Charlie said he didn't know if he'd lost it or whatever, he was wrestling with a guy on the halfway line, the number 20 for Huddersfield. By the time he got into the box, it was actually the number 20 had ran all the way back and had sort of tried to lunge in on him, and I think the ball sort of spilled and Lanzini put it away. But he just seems to have everything in his locker. He's got a bit of pace, right, left foot, he can feint, he can jink, he's got good ball manipulation, and it seems that he's got a pass and assist. We've got a really, really good player on our hands. And I'll tell you what, if we've got 25 million, 30 million in a kitty and we can spend it wisely and get somebody else like that, then the team would benefit hugely.
I take it you don't want to sell him anymore then, Gonzo. Have you changed your mind yet?
I don't know. Did I say I wanted to sell him? When was that?
Yeah, you said you weren't to sell him not long ago. You said you wanted to flog him in January on a cup of tea. Someone said, would you sell him? You said, yeah, I'd sell him.
Oh, well, I must have been. I think probably after he'd elbowed someone, got, yeah, when he wasn't looking good at the start. No, would I sell him now? No. Well, did he? I still stand by it. I thought he let Bilic down hugely at the start. I really did.
Charlie, Kiatu, he's coming for a hell of a lot of criticism, but Gonzo's right. Arnautovic had a hand in all 4 goals. Kiatu had a hand in 3.
Yeah, he did. Especially the I can't remember which one it was, but there's one where he basically plays the ball from our own box all the way to the halfway line. It's a really nice pass. It's really well done, and the vision to look up, see it, and to play it is really impressive. And like you say, he comes up from a lot of criticism, not least from myself, who continuously hates him, but he played really well today in spurts. There were times where he did a bit dodgy here and there, like he lost the ball here, a dodgy touch there, but by and large, that was a good performance. And if him and the other 2 centre midfielders who played, I thought, equally well today, could all continue that sort of form, then we're going to continue to be able to push into that mid-table spots.
I'm Kiai's biggest critic, but I thought in the second half, the first half, I thought he was trying. Just things weren't happening for him. There was at one point he was chasing the ball, and the ball came over the top, and it bounced and just went out. And it was sort of like a more confident player would have took that without it bouncing, but he tried to let it bounce, but he just lost it. There was one, he won a ball in the air, and the referee gave a free kick. I thought, that's not a free kick. It was just, no, it was going right for him. But then when we did that champagne football goal, like Gonzo said, he was the one almost doing the 1-2s with people. And I've never seen Kiai do a quick passing like that in a long, long time. And the last goal, which is the one you were talking about, him and Zabaleta worked well again, actually, today. They worked well against Spurs. They worked well again today. You could see Zabaleta saying to him, go there, go there. So he goes there, wins the ball, plays like a 50-yard pass down the line to Arnautovic, and it's perfectly weighted so that Arnautovic doesn't have to touch the ball. He's able to then just, his focus is get this defender out of the way and I can turn him away. That's what he does. Gonzo, anything else you'd like to add to that? I mean, is there anyone that you thought was quiet today? I thought Masuaku was a bit quiet again. I don't want to be critical. I'm not saying he was crap. He was just quiet.
Yeah, I mean, he had that chance that I said at the start of the show, when I thought the move had worked well. I thought Lanzini and Arnautovic again linked well, and they back-heeled it. And I thought the defender was quite good because the defender was wise and showed him onto his right foot. And because he couldn't shoot on his right foot, he decided to go on a dribble, and he was just dispossessed. I think we, in many respects, expect great things from him. There was a couple of times he was boxed in on the left-hand side. You're thinking, hold on, is he going to do that tricky rainbow flicky thing again? Whatever. I don't think that's the technical name for it, by the way. But you think, is he going to do something special to get out of this? And you can't do that every time. Was he quiet? Yeah, I think he probably was. But I got to say, after that foot, I was primed after about 20 minutes. I know you were going to ask every show, you're going to ask who was man of the match, and I'm already thinking in my mind it's probably going to be Ogbonna today because he'd done a couple of really good headers and been involved. But you can't really criticise too many people after today's performance, I don't think, really.
Charlie, praise for the defence. They conceded one. It was sometimes, though, I think you've just got to say it was a fantastic. I think Masuaku's the biggest one at fault for that first goal. However, their goal, sorry. However, I thought the defensive three, I was pissed off at the start of the game. Declan Rice wasn't in there. Even though we won, I still think Declan Rice should have started. How you can not include the man of match from your last league. But anyway, the three you started today, did it impress you? Did they do well?
Yeah, I was the same. I wanted Rice to start, but they did really well. I think that Cresswell playing centrally seems to work. He seems to have his head switched on a lot of the time. Sometimes he does get caught out, obviously, as he's going to, but he does get well. And him getting forward allows Masuaku and other people to sort of shift their positions rather. And that is helpful. And as you say, Ogbonna, I think he's having an absolute storming season, maybe a season as good as his first with us. And it's just all coming together. It's all coming together at the back. I was one who wanted to see two at the back, and I still kind of want to see two at the back going forward. Oh, sorry, two centre backs, I should say, going forward. But it worked really well today. You can't really criticise any of them individually too much.
Charlie, what's your final words on the game? And can I have your man of match, please? Although I think we're all going to say the same one.
Like I said, I think that early goal really did play into our hands. I think without that 11-second goal, it would have been possibly a different second half. But even so, you have to have the ability and the confidence to step up and take that opportunity. And once you're there, we put them to the sword. And that's something I've been super critical of. I keep saying, I don't believe we have the ability and those tactics to put people to the sword. And we did it today. And we did it spectacularly. There are other people I would like to praise, but it's just Arnautovic for me was the one and only.
Gonzo, what's your final thoughts? And are you picking the same man of match as Charlie?
I'm sure I am. The final thoughts are that we've discussed everybody individually, but actually as a whole, one thing we've not discussed is the importance to the club of the result. When you are mixing it with other teams at the bottom, particularly when you're looking at results come in and they're not really doing you any favours, and when a final reckoning comes at the end of the season, an away win is a huge thing. If nothing else, it moves us above Huddersfield, and that's all you can do is deal with it on a game-by-game basis. And today, we did not look like we were going to get relegated, and I think that's a really, really big step. And that is going to give the team a thumping, gives the team huge confidence going into the next game. And I don't mean it to Shrewsbury. Whatever happens there is whatever happens. But actually, we go now play Bournemouth. And actually, it sets a little seed in Bournemouth's mind. I don't think Bournemouth are going to want to come and play against players like Arnautovic and Lanzini when they're in that type of form. Man of the match, how can you not give it to Arnautovic? Whether you want to technically call them 3 assists, that's up to you. But to be involved in 3 goals and to get a goal yourself, that deserves the bubbly.
Yeah, we've also got the FA Cup game. I think this changes the whole attitude that Moyes might have towards. If we lost today, I think he would have been thinking, I can't be bothered with this on Tuesday night. The win tonight might mean he thinks, well, actually, now we're sitting 11th. Now we've got a few points in the bag. We can play Tuesday. We can win, go in the next round, and we've got Bournemouth or Wigan away, who, it doesn't matter who you get, it's winnable. And then if you can get through that, you're in the 5th round. So that might change that. For today, I thought, do you know something? I find it hard to like David Moyes. I really want to like him. But there's stuff I find difficult. The way he's taken Rice out of the team, his attitude to the Cups, his football's not been the greatest so far. And I saw the lineup today, oh, bloody hell. But it's worked. It's worked again. You've got to give the manager credit for that. We had a completely different attitude in the second half. One player I thought was going to be man of the match was Mark Noble. I thought in the first half he was outstanding. He was brilliant in that first half. But Arnautovic is he's just a different machine. I mean, even his first goal, when it's a long ball, you have 2 or 3 touches to get it up over the defender and turn and hit it. It's just a player with quality. Lanzini, I like Lanzini when he dinks over a player. He did it twice today. Someone coming for a slide tackle, he just chipped the ball up a little bit and leaped over him. Funny of that, he didn't do it against Stoke though when he was in the box and you seen a slide tackle coming. He didn't do the dink them, did he? But yeah, Arnautovic man of the match for me. If you haven't already, do check out mine and Charlie's latest Hammers Chat Insight video, which is on Declan Rice, where we compare his stats to the other centre-backs in the team as well as other youngsters in the league. It's on your screen just now. We'll be back tomorrow night doing the preview of the FA Cup game as we take on Shrewsbury on Tuesday. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Drop a like on the video and let us know in the comments below what you thought of the game and who your man of match was. Although I think it's going to be quite easy.